of the task force for allowing the Suba community to make a presentation. We take the opportunity to also thank the President for appointing the BBI task force that has enabled us to make presentation. I want to say that we have very many similarities with the Ijara, and I think it is a blessing that we are presenting at the same time. I am presenting as a member of parliament for Cuba North, and the first woman Suba to be elected in the National Assembly, except that I came in a little earlier than my colleague Sophia Abdi Noor. And I also just want to say that where Ijara beats us is that they have a chair in the task force. But we are also represented by Winnie Malombo, who is working and assisting here. So we are also not doing badly. Background information, the Abasuba or Suba community is a minority and marginalized community in Kenya with an estimated population of 157,787,000 people as reported in the latest national population and household census of 2019. Perhaps I would want to say that from this census, it appears many Subas have died because we were more than that before officially. I would also want to say that this figure may also be misleading as many Subas also identify as Luo. I also identify as a Luo, even though I'm a Suba. This is due to socioeconomic assimilation over the years. The Abasuba are many domiciled in Migori and Homa Bay counties with a high concentration in the islands and shores of Lake Victoria, but more particularly in the sub-counties of Suba North, Suba South, Nyatike, Suna East, Suna West, and Awendo sub-counties. And I have just been told here, which we have not added, that it's also in Vihiga we have some Subas. There are also Subas in northern Tanzania. The language of the Abasuba is Olusuba, spoken with the different variations or dialects in the respective areas. Historically, the Subas have a close lineage to the Bantu clans of Busamia, Baganda, Bagusi, and Basoga. So I think we also have some by proxy representation through Senator Wako. Due to varied pre- and post-independence socioeconomic factors, including intermarriages and skewed policies on minority communities, the Abasuba community has faced a challenge of extinction of its identity through assimilation and erasure of cultural way of life, including the language. Indeed, the Abasuba language has been flagged as an endangered language by the United Nations Education, Science and Culture Organization, UNESCO, in its latest release of UNESCO Red Book of Languages in Endangered Report, noting that it is almost at the brink of extinction with less than 30,000 people still fluently speaking the language, most of whom are elderly. I have enough to, I know enough to allow me borrow water or ask for votes. For these reasons and many more as espoused herein, we hereby present this memorandum to this task force and pray that our issues be addressed when the final report is released and implemented. Introduction. This memorandum is premised on relevant international treaties, the Constitution, and relevant acts of Parliament. We also fully subscribe to the report released by the task force, save for the recommendations that we provide herein to enrich the report and to take into account the concerns of the Abasuba community. We wish to take cognizance of and reaffirm and recommit ourselves to the positive values, principles, and provisions of the Constitutions and other legal provisions, and in particular to the following: the preamble of the Constitution that buttresses the issue of our ethnic, cultural, and religious diversity, Article 11 of the Constitution that recognizes culture as the foundation of the nation and as cumulative civilization of the Kenyan people and the nation. I am summarizing, but we have expounded more. Article 44(1) of the Constitution that grants every Kenyan the right to use the language and to participate in the cultural life of the person's choice. Gazette Notice of 1994 which created the Suba district and for the first time recognized the Suba as a people in Kenya. The UNESCO Red Book of Languages in Danger report that I have already referred to, that flagged out Abasuba as an endangered language. The County Government Act 2012 has read together with the National Cohesion and Integration Act that obligates the county executives and service boards to consider the need to ensure that at least 30% of the composition of the government at every level are occupied by people who are not from the dominant ethnic community. The BBI report being validated under Article 99D that recommends cultural inclusion, invest in promoting and building trust in indigenous knowledge, cultural technologies, embedded in traditions and practices, foods and medicines. The Senate report of the petition concerning historical human rights violations against the Abasuba community of Western Kenya of 2018 that observes, amongst others, that the new CBC basic education framework provides for literacy in indigenous languages, and as such, communities ought to leverage on this and develop in consultation with other stakeholders materials that are likely to promote their respective languages, and directed the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development to engage the Basuba community in developing strategies that are likely to promote the Basuba language, including but not limited to programs for adult education and teacher education. Based on the foregoing, the Abasuba community hereby presents the following issues before the committee for inclusion in the report, and I'm going to hand over to Mr. Maguire to make the presentations of the demands or requests by the Abasuba community. Thank you.